So, I started playing Hades, and I really like it so far. As a rogue-style game, I thought I might just play it on my own here and there, but I've enjoyed it so much I'd like to keep a record of the good moments and runs as they come up, even if they are few and far between. I found I'm able to record the game in pretty high quality too, without compromising my performance, which is a nice change. I'm still learning the game, obviously, but the core dungeon run loop provides drips of character and narrative that I look forward to after each run. There are quite a few things to unlock that not only add variety, but make things a little easier as you play more. I might even have a chance of finishing a run someday, which probably wouldn't usually be the case for me in a game like this. This run turned out to be pretty fun, and had a number of firsts for me, including using Varatha, the spear weapon. Check it out, shoot me any tips you might have for a new player, and let me know what you think. Before we jump in, here's a quick shot of my current mirror status. I'm pretty early on, but these are permanent buffs you get by spending the darkness currency earned during runs and not lost on death. Some are more expensive than others, but they all seem pretty valuable. It just so happened that right before this run I had a short event queued up that I thought was a cool example of the game's narrative elements.
It is the dead of night, or the approximation of it in the realm of Hades. Prince of the underworld Zagreus rises from a fitful slumber, with much mischief on his mind.
Mischief? Me? I was just going to have a little look through Father's stuff.
All is quiet at this time. Ever-dreaming Hypnos put a spell upon the house, as willful Zagreus had asked of him. All are fast asleep, save for the prince. It is exactly as he planned.
Lower your voice, old man. I'm trying to be sneaky here.
He ventures toward the stately throne of his lord father, half expecting to be caught, but ill expecting what he is about to find.
I said shut up, old man.
He does not know exactly what he seeks. He only knows that something always has felt off to him, that he does not belong. Who is he, really? Lord Hades never would indulge such questions, so Prince Zagreus would find out for himself.
I'm not listening.
He rifles through his lord father's possessions. There is not much of any import there. Ledgers and administrative parchment work. Correspondence from Olympus which he had ignored. No trace of any reference to his son. But then, there is the note. Written finally in a hand and voice the likes of which the prince had never seen or heard.
Hades, I can no longer tolerate my life here in this place. So I'm leaving, even if it kills me. I won't be returning to Olympus. If there is a place where I belong in this world, it must be somewhere between heaven and hell. Perhaps it's on the coast and has a little garden. Take care of Cerberus. I shall miss him. Persephone.
Thus did Prince of the Underworld Zagreus absorb the contents of this hidden letter, written in his mother's hand.
His mother's hand. My mother's hand? Wait, what? You're saying this Persephone, that she's my mother? But Father always said that Nyx was that liar. He lied to me. They both did. All my life.
Thus did the prince discover, inadvertently, the well-kept truth about his lineage. Entirely by chance, this did occur. Persephone, the one-time queen of all the underworld. Where had she gone? And why? Engulfed by newfound questions and his rage, the prince decided to confront his lord and master.
You... why? You're... Nix, you're not my mother. All this time, you and my father, you lied to me?
Oh, my dear child. So now you know. So now you know. But only half the truth. I can explain the rest, so... Please. It never was my wish to hurt you.
Mother, I wonder, will you even remember me?
I thought this was a neat little sequence. Most conversations
I'll sleep
haven't
when I'm
been quite
dead.
this involved so far, but it shows off the slick voice work and colorful writing. So without further delay here, let's get this run going. I've just unlocked the spear weapon for the first time, cost a couple of chthonic keys, but I found myself pretty impressed with it quickly.
Hello there, Dionysus.
Hey man, you've been having some bad run-ins with that Fury Megara. Is that her name? Now, isn't she a real firebrand? Maybe this'll help you out next time you meet.
So far I haven't found the Dionysus boons to be that powerful feeling, but in this case I try a cast power called Trippy Shot. It does some initial damage, changes my cast power into sort of a lobbed grenade, and stuns enemies that are hit, and this turned out to be pretty fun.
Phew, that's good.
The range on the spear is pretty awesome, and definitely one of its strengths, as well as its speed. Its weakness is maybe that its attacks are pretty linear, aside from that charge circular attack, which I really didn't use too much this run, and I need to get the hang of a little better. It has a slower charge time.
What now? You're dead.
This is my first time seeing some of the weapon upgrades, the Daedalus Hammer weapon upgrades to the spear, but I pretty quickly decide on the extending jab. That just seems to amplify the strengths of the spear with additional range and damage on the regular attack. It served me pretty well, and is probably a reason why I didn't use the charge attack as much.
Back to dust.
This is my first time, maybe second, seeing one of these portals to the Chaos Realms. You have to pay some health to get in here, but you get a nice boon for it.
I sensed a certain rumbling here within the bowels of the earth. It is as though it had ingested something that did not sit well. Perhaps the earth itself wishes to spit you up and out.
Let's see what happens.
The fathomless expanses hidden in darkest corners of the underworld stretch well past the notice of Lord Hades himself. And yet, the interfering prince somehow discovers passage there.
Wasn't all that hard to find, really.
I was a little worried here with the minus 46% movement speed debuff, but the Slothful Strike bonus damage to my basic attack seemed like the most beneficial for the powers that I'd gotten so far in the weapon I was using.
Ready for them.
I was starting to use the spear's special attack a little bit more here. It allows you to strike from range, but also temporarily disarms you, and when you recall the spear, it kind of freezes you in place for a fraction of a second, which can be dangerous. But the return strike does usually backstab the enemies it's passing through if you can line it up right.
Good enough.
Let's go, lads.
Not a particularly clean mid-boss fight, but we get through it, and I'll just have to keep an eye out for some health before we reach the end of the level.
Whenever Dionysus calls a feast, I'm turning up sooner or later, hear me, nephew? So make room for one more blessing and let's go!
I really like the Poseidon dash attack, but it doesn't pop up as an option here. So I'm going to go ahead and double down on the regular attack damage, since that's kind of the attack I've been focused on so far, buffing with range and some additional damage already. The rest of this floor was fairly uneventful, so as we get ready to exit the room here and I try out a few attacks, let's jump ahead to the Megara fight.
Hey there, Meg.
Hold it, Zagreus. I sense something. Is that... Ah. You've been in contact with Chaos. So even they are now involved with this.
Just because Chaos is giving me the power to crush you doesn't mean they're getting involved with this, does it?
You don't know who or what you're dealing with. Ask Nyx about them for me sometime. Here, I'll give you a chance to ask her very soon. One lash is not enough.
As you start to see here on this run, she's really casting the bullet attack quite often. It took me kind of by surprise, and while it's generally not felt too hard to dodge in the past, especially when she's off screen like this, I felt like I was taking a lot of unnecessary damage.
Come, wretches, on my authority. Zagreus. Beg me for mercy, fool. Suffer in darkness. What?
Plenty of room for improvement here,
I did it.
but we're going to make it to the second area of the game and actually get to explore it a little bit more this time.
This holds some sort of power, but for what? The bloodless lie in wait out there, I guess.
I've reached Asphodel only once very briefly before, so this area is still completely new for the most part, but I think I'm in a stronger position than I was the first time around.
More coming. would. Burn flingers. Delicious. Yeah, might as well.
Those tropes are not for you.
Rot.
Why do I bother?
That's that.
That was quite a few dangerous enemies triggering that chest, but given that it was a health drop anyway, it seems to pay it back, even though I took some damage.
Made it this far. Slam dancers.
Fight your father's legions with Varatha, the eternal spear. The irony must not escape him, for he long ago stood by my side against the Titans with that thing in hand.
All right, Lord Zeus. One of Charon's shops. Hey, Charon, I'm in Asphodel now, aren't I? I'd always heard this was some flower-covered meadow-type place, not such a terrifying hellscape. Couldn't agree more, mate. Charon, you've been such a reassuring sight, I thought I'd offer you a token of my gratitude. Wait, you don't have to give me something in return. It was a gift. Though, you're insisting, aren't you? I don't know what to say, mate.
I'm still trying to figure out the friendship system a little bit here with the different hearts that you can obtain. It seems like there are quite a few for each character, so I guess you can just continue to deliver these nectars to them and see what happens.
Why, it's the barge of death. What is it now? gods have spoken. In the name of Hades.
Since I think these areas will start to grind me down a little bit in difficulty, this healing after each encounter seems like a pretty strong choice.
Bone rakers.
Having traversed the flaming river Phlegethon to gain this vantage point, relentless Zagreus must now confront a foe of unimaginable savagery, who lies ahead, awaiting patiently its time to strike.
Way to spoil the surprise, old man. Good for the health.
This looks like a new item and the boss, so let's see what we can learn.
Hello? Oh, great.
I dig the tune, and this doesn't seem too bad so far. The spear seems like a pretty good fit here. I'm able to strike from range fairly safely so far.
There.
I realized here that I'm trying to dodge most of the missile shots rather than maybe attack and block them, so that's something to try for next time. It also might be one of the weaknesses of this weapon, having such linear strikes, although the charge attack 360 could help clear things.
Have you?
Now things start to get a little bit more intense here, and I get sloppy. I see this shot coming from a long way out and have to wait for it to get to me. I could have sworn I dodged in the last moment there, but not quite, I guess. Fortunately, the main enemy here is shielded, while his little minions are still alive, so you have to clear them. And they're fairly tanky and take up a lot of space. Even with the spear here, I'm getting just a little bit too close, and right on the periphery of those attacks taking quite a bit of damage. But I somehow managed to grind this one out with just enough life to start to explore the next area and maybe learn a little bit more on this run.
Thank you. The fields of Elysium. Lovely place to have to smash my way through.
The rare heavenly splendors of Elysium, reserved for only the most great of mortal souls, spread forth luxuriantly all about the fire-stepping prince.
Luxuriantly? Really?
Elysium here looks like a nice change of pace. However, we've lost our Defy Death charge. Our health is okay, but anything we learn from here is kind of a bonus to help us in the future.
That eyeball, is that him?
Here I'm kind of curious what these little eyeball totems are that pop out of these guys, and I experiment a little bit to find out what they do. Turns out if you leave them alone for a little while, without killing them, the enemy will actually respawn.
Damn it, one's come back. Modified. I'll take what's mine.
My coffers are not yours for pillaging. Damnable fools!
Now to collect. Nice. Long spears.
These enemies and their little ground cast attack starts to cause me some trouble here. The attack seems to pass through any obstacles such as these walls and corners, making it a little bit hard to see.
No grant me strength. Juicy. Chariot.
I grabbed the healing here, hoping I might have a few encounters that I can slow play and heal up a little bit. It looks like I won't have time though, given the boss symbol on the door, something I could have noticed before purchasing anything, not that it makes much difference.
The Bull of Minos.
You come from the bowels of hell. This is not your place.
Agreed on.
I will not.
Didn't mean to skip that. Whoops.
The champion of Elysium would never back down from such a contest. Neither will I.
Wait, you're not the champion of Elysium? You're the Bull of Minos. I can't imagine who's even stronger than you. Is it Heracles? Tell me it's Heracles.
I will not. You talk too much, short one. Come get destroyed.
I'm going to try to play defensive here and just try to pick up some attack patterns.
He's angry now.
Given the damage I'm seeing I'm doing about now, I am not super hopeful. He really starts to mix up his patterns too, making it hard to tell when it's safe to attack. That was a very quick change of direction. And look at this guy. Right about now I think I need to run him into the wall maybe. This is new. Maybe his below 50% phase. And that catches me. Well, it's been a very good run. I like the spear weapon quite a bit. I think I'll be trying more of that, and we learned quite a bit about Asphodel and Elysium.
Oh, that bull hits rather hard.
I will be back again in the future with some more exciting runs as they come.